I'll chant. You can repeat while on mute. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Duhe Namaha. So, we saw this Dhyana Shloka where the entire Gita teaching is summarized into this. So it says the Lord is the Karma Phaladata, the wish fulfilling tree, and the devotees are who recognize that and who keep that in mind, that it is the Lord who is the giver of the results of their actions. So, Karma Yoga is summarized in this. So, Karma Yoga is whatever we do it as a gift to God, and whatever situations we face in life and whatever results we get, we accept them as gift from God. The details we will see as we go through the whole course. That is Karma Yoga. And Totra Vetraika Panaye means the Lord has a stick which is used to control cows, which indicates that we need to meditate upon the Lord to get our senses and mind under our control. That is Dhyana Yoga. Third, Jnana Mudraya. So the Jnana Mudra, where the the thumb, the the index finger is put under the thumb, it indicates that our identity, we need to shift our identity from the body, mind, and the subconscious, which are called the three bodies. From that, we need to shift our identity to pure consciousness. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not even the subconscious tendencies. I am pure consciousness, I am the pure witness. Now, this shift in identity is called Jnanam. And this shift in identity is what is going to give us the freedom from all sorrow. Now, this shift in identity is represented by the Jnana Mudra, and that indicates Jnana Yoga. And then Krishnaya. So, we involve bhakti in all of them. Right? So, that is Bhakti Yoga. And Gita Duhe Namaha. Gita is going to give us the immortality. Amritam. Amritam is our intrinsic real nature. So there is nothing external to be got, right? Like, so moksha is not something to be attained. It is, we are already free. We are already immortal. We are already free. We need to recognize our intrinsic freedom. Now that is called as mukti. And that can be done here and now while living. So that is why it is called Jivan Mukti. So we don't talk about something which happens after death and all. No. We need this freedom. We want to be free from all sorrow. We want to be free from all negative emotions here and now. And that is Jivan Mukti. And that is the goal of Gita. That is where Gita is going to take us. It is going to make us recognize our own real nature, our own true nature, and show that we are actually free, and we are going to recognize our intrinsic freedom, and by that we are going to be free. That is Gita Amrita, and Krishna is the one who gives that. So Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Salutations to the Lord. We saw this shloka, and so we ended with I wanted to give the explanation for the Shanti, 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 which we chant at the end. So we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Now, Om is the sound symbol of Ishvara, right? Now, if you look at Om, why is Om the sound symbol of Ishvara? According to Vedanta, our understanding of God is the universal being. Now, each of us are a limited individual. We consider ourselves as limited individuals. This body is there, this limited body, this limited mind, this limited intellect. This is what I. When we say I, we mean this body, this life, and whatever is our limited knowledge and what we know, what we don't know, that limited knowledge and ignorance. And this is what we consider as I. Now, our body has got innumerable cells. Each cell is a living being of its own right. So, if you take, for example, a white blood corpuscle or a red blood corpuscle, RBC. Now, the red blood corpuscle, it takes birth in the bone marrow. It lives for 120 days and it dies in the liver. And during these 120 days, it keeps swimming in the bloodstream, carrying oxygen from the lungs to all the rest of the body, and carrying carbon dioxide from the rest of the body back to the lungs. It keeps doing this work. Now, this red blood corpuscle, RBC, is a living being of its own right. It's a full living being, right? Now, similarly, every cell in this body, nerve cell, muscle cell, they're all living beings. But then we say I, even though there is so many trillions of living beings in this body, still we say I and we hold on to one identity for us. Now, in the same way, just as how when we say I, we mean this limited individuality, there is one being who, when he says I, he means this entire universe. The Lord, Ishvara, is that person who identifies himself with the entire universe. Like for language sake, we use the word himself, or he, but then it is absolutely genderless, beyond all gender, beyond all species. Right? It's a universal being. So that universal being who identifies himself with this entire universe, this whole physical universe is his body. All the minds of every individual put together is his mind. All life in this entire universe are manifestations of his life, and everything put together is the Lord. So that is the idea of Ishvara. Ishvara is the universal being. Now, Om is the sound symbol for Ishvara. Why is it so? Now, if you look at Om, it starts with A, goes to U, and ends with M. So A plus U is O, right? So we have that Maha plus Utsava is Mahotsava, right? So that's a natural grammar rule. A plus U is O. Now, Om is A, U, M. Now, if you look at the human's vocal system, the most primordial sound that we can make is A. Just open the mouth and then just say A. So that is a primordial sound. That's a starting of the sound. And the other end of the vocal system is at the lips. So when you close the lips and say so that is a Ma. So A to Ma encompasses the complete vocal system of the human body. So the entire sound system that we have is covered by Om. So Om is a representation of all the sounds that a human being can possibly make. From A to is the entire range of the human sound system. So Om represents all the sounds that we can make, which represents all the words that we can talk, all the letters, all the words, all the sentences. So that is how Om is a symbol of everything that a human being can make. Every sound is between A and So Om becomes the natural sound symbol of Ishvara, who is also the universal being. So Om is the universal sound. It encompasses all the sounds that we can make. So Ishvara, being the universal being, Om is the best symbol for Ishvara. And when we say Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, thrice we say there are three types of obstacles that happens in our life. It is called Tapatraya. Now, it is called Adhyatmika Tapa, Adibhautika Tapa, and Adidaivika Tapa. So, Adhyatmika Tapa is self-created problems, right? Obstacles, self-created obstacles. Adibhautika comes because of competition with other living beings. Adidaivika is unforeseen, unavoidable problems. I'll give you an example. Suppose if you want to go to the office, there is an important meeting for which you want to go. And three kinds of problems can happen to your car. First is, suppose you are going and suddenly fuel has run out. Petrol is over. Now, this is a self-created problem. Why? For the past 1 week, the indicator was showing the fuel tank is almost empty. And you have been procrastinating, ignoring that symbol, and procrastinating filling the petrol. So at the most important time, when you have to reach your office on time, suddenly petrol got over. Actually, petrol did not get over suddenly. It always showed the indication, but you ignored it. So it is a self-created problem. That is Adhyatmika problem. How can we solve it? We have to be more diligent. We have to solve it ourselves only. Second problem is Adibhautika problem. There is a lot of traffic in the road. So that is because of competition. You are trying to reach your destination. Simultaneously, so many other people are also trying to reach their destination. And of course, the road is limited. So there is a lot of traffic congestion in the road. So what do you do for that? How do you solve the problem? You can take an alternate road. There may be some alternate road which is not so congested. You can take that. Or you can have a traffic signal and negotiate for a win-win. I will use the road for some time when you wait, and then you use the road for some time when I wait. That's what traffic signals are. So Adibhautika problems are solved by sharing the resources which are available or utilizing some alternate resources which not many people might be interested in. So that way, Adibhautika problems have to be solved. The third is Adidaivika problem, unforeseen, unavoidable problems. Let us say suddenly you have a flat tire. Now, this is an unavoidable problem. It is not because of your negligence. It is not because of competition with others. It is just that sometimes such things will happen. Unforeseen problems will happen. Now, how do you solve them? You have to have mitigation plans. You should have a stepney, and you should know how to change the wheel, and you should also have the stepney fully with full pressure. So you have to be prepared for it so that when such a thing happens, you can reduce the impact. Now, this is called Adidaivika problem. So all problems that we face in life, all obstacles that we face in our pursuits will come under one of these three categories: Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika. And Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, when we say, we are reminded that we can have these three types of problems. So we should work towards mitigating these three types of problems. And we should also, when these problems come, we should not get panicked. We should face them calmly so that we can solve them. So when you become agitated, when you become panicked, then what happens? Like in neuroscience, if you look at it from neuroscience point of view, cortisol will go up in your blood, and cortisol will reduce your thinking capacity. So whenever you panic, the chemicals in the brain, like cortisol, adrenaline, there are some chemicals which will get into the body, which will reduce your thinking capacity. But that is when you need to think more clearly. So you have to be peaceful and calm when there is problems. And this Om Shanti Shanti is a reminder for that, saying problems will be there, and three types of problems will be there, and solve them intelligently, and don't get panicked, face them in the right way and get over them. So that is what, and of course, that is what prayer is also about. Prayer is saying, okay, like, it's not that it should not come, it will not come. Problems will come, but we can, if we have a calm attitude, then we can handle them in a much better way. Right? So that is what is Om Shanti 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 for. So at the end of the class every day, we will chant Om Shanti. So this is what we have seen in the last class. We are supposed to have completed this in the last class. We took more time. So any questions so far? Whatever we discussed in the last class and whatever we discussed so far today. Okay. So let us start today's slide deck. I'll chant the shloka and you can repeat after me. कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Good. So this is the prayer which in response to which Krishna taught the Gita. So Arjuna, if you we all know the Mahabharata story. So now Pandavas and Kauravas, like the sons of Pandu and the sons of Dhritarashtra, were the princes of the kingdom of Hastinapura. Now, the rule in a joint family is that in every generation, the eldest male child in that generation has the responsibility to take care of the entire family. The head of the family is the eldest male child in that particular generation. That is the rule in a joint family. So, in the previous generation, Dhritarashtra was elder, Pandu was younger, but Dhritarashtra was blind. So, Pandu took care of the family, and this is a royal family, so which means they have to take care of the kingdom also. That is the property basically is the kingdom. That is the responsibility to take care of the kingdom. So Pandu, and then for various reasons, Pandu retired off into the forest, and then Dhritarashtra took care of the kingdom. Now, after that, Pandu had children in the forest, and Yudhishthira was there, the eldest, then Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva. And meanwhile, in the city in Hastinapura, Dhritarashtra also had children, starting from Duryodhana, Dushasana, 100 children they had. So now what happened is, Yudhishthira was elder to Duryodhana. And though they were living in the forest, so as long as they were living in the forest, the Duryodhana did not feel any problem. He thought, okay, I am the eldest of the Kauravas, so I will be the next king, he was thinking. But then after Pandu's death, the joint family became joint again. Of course, it was just that they were living in the forest. They were still anyway the children of the same family. So when the Pandavas came back to Hastinapura, so now Yudhishthira was the eldest in the family in that generation. So now, as per the rule, as per the law, as per the custom, so now Yudhishthira is the eldest. So the next king would be Yudhishthira. Now, this was not acceptable to Duryodhana, because he, from childhood, he was thinking will be the next king. Of course, even now, actually, even when Pandavas came back, they were not very old. They were only young boys. But then the problem is, like right from the beginning, Duryodhana could not accept that he will not be the king and Yudhishthira will be the king. So with their uncle Shakuni, they tried to eliminate the Pandavas or make them go back to the forest, make them not claim the country. They tried various things. They poisoned Bhima's food. They tried to burn them in the palace. They tried to do all kinds of things to eliminate them so that Duryodhana can be the king. And none of them worked. And Draupadi Swayamvara happened, and then they came back. So now the elders found that there is a big problem. Duryodhana wants to be the king. It is not possible. So now the only possibility is to split the joint family. So the joint family had to be broken, so that each family, the eldest one, will be the head of that family. So they broke the joint family, and Pandavas were given Indraprastha, and Kauravas continued to be in Hastinapura, so that now Duryodhana can be the king of Hastinapura, this family, and Yudhishthira can be the king of Indraprastha, the other family. So the country was divided into two. And so, but then these things could have been settled this way. Everyone thought things were settled. But then Duryodhana was not happy. He was jealous because Pandavas became very prosperous with their half of the kingdom. And Duryodhana became jealous. He wanted to be the king of the combined kingdom. He wanted that part of the kingdom also. And he invited Yudhishthira and Yudhishthira did not want any violence. And he said, like, well, like if Duryodhana wanted it, like, I don't mind. But then for a Kshatriya, there are several ways of gaining the kingdom. One of the ways is war. The other way is through alliance. And other way is through gambling. It was permitted in the Dwapara Yuga during the laws of those times for kings. And so Duryodhana invited them for this thing, gambling, and it was Yudhishthira wanted to anyway avoid any conflict. So he gave away the kingdom. But then it became worse, and Draupadi was insulted. And then, of course, after that, again, Dhritarashtra gave back the kingdom to Pandavas, which they lost in the first round of gambling. But immediately, second round of gambling was there, where again the kingdom was taken away by Duryodhana. And he set the rule that you spend 12 years in the forest and the 13th year in incognito, where we cannot find you. And if you succeed in all these things, then you can get back your kingdom. And the Pandavas went. They spent 12 years plus 1 year. And at the end of the 13th year, now they have the right to the kingdom and they asked for it. And then Duryodhana did not want to give the kingdom. And then now the only dharma has to be established. Because this is not good. If the king himself follows adharma, then what will happen to the kingdom? How will the citizens follow dharma if the king himself follows adharma? So it is a right of any Kshatriya to ensure that the king follows dharma. So Pandavas had to, as Kshatriyas, it is their duty to establish dharma in the society. So they have to fight. Now, this is the background. And in between, just before the war, when Arjuna saw that he had to fight Bhishma and Drona and so many, because relatives, because they're all his cousins, and cousins' children are his nephews, right? So he has to fight his own nephews, kill. He's the mama, he's the uncle for all of them, and he has to kill his own nephews, and his nieces' husbands will be there. So he has to make widow of his nieces, and so many relatives on both sides. And so he saw that, like, he said, this is not worth it. And for a moment, he forgot why he was fighting this war. And he told Krishna, Krishna, I don't want to fight this war. It is not worth it. I don't see any point in fighting this war. I don't want this kingdom. And as we saw in the last class, Arjuna had already, seen everything. He had gone to Swargaloka, lived as a prince there. He was a king in Bhuloka. As a king, he had ruled. So there is no pleasure in this world or in Swarga that Arjuna has not seen. He has gone through everything. And that Arjuna says, I don't see any point in fighting this war because I don't think it is worth it. So that is when, and Arjuna also uses the words that these are atatayis. The Kauravas are atatayis. What do you mean by atatayi? In today's Hindi, we call it as atankavadi, terrorist, right? So now, as per the law of those times, there are 5 crimes for which, if anyone does it, the king has to give capital punishment. Death is the punishment for 5 crimes. One is trying to kill someone by poisoning that person's food. Second is trying to kill someone when they are by setting their house on fire when they are asleep and defenseless. And then trying to kill an unborn child. Basically, like, all of them are defenseless, right? Like, even if someone is poisoning the food, it's by deceit. By the person doesn't even have a chance to defend his life. So all these things are considered as deserving capital punishment. Then usurping someone else's wealth illegally and creating disturbance to the honor of a woman. All these things are considered as grave mistakes, grave sins, for which, if a citizen commits these, the king has to give capital punishment for all these. Now, Duryodhana and his brothers have committed all these 5. And as per the law, even right in the beginning, when Duryodhana tried to poison Bhima, At that time only, Dhritarashtra should have given capital punishment to Duryodhana. Because if he is an ordinary citizen, if an ordinary citizen does that, as a king, Dhritarashtra would have surely given capital punishment to that citizen. Now, the prince has committed, his own eldest son has committed that same crime, and being a king, he should have given capital punishment. And then after that, when they tried to burn the Pandavas in the Lakh Palace in Varnavrata, again, it's a crime that deserved capital punishment. And when they tried to dishonor Draupadi, that also deserves capital punishment according to the law. Now, if Dhritarashtra had followed the law and given capital punishment, then everything would have been solved. But Dhritarashtra also did not do that, and the entire Hastinapura court did not do it. So all the people, they are Atatayis, they deserve capital punishment. So now even the king himself deserves capital punishment. Now it is the duty of the other kings to establish dharma. That is also as per the law of those times. Even today we have international court, and if a king makes a mistake, then the other kings can get together and they can establish dharma in that kingdom to protect the prajas, to protect the people of that country against their king. So these are all international laws which were there even during that time. So according to that law is what Mahabharata war was started. So it is a dharma yuddha, right? So because they are all these kings are all this Duryodhana and party, they are all Atatayis who have to be given capital punishment, and because they are kings, they resisted, they fight, so they have to be killed in a war. So the war was for that. But then at the moment, because Arjuna uses the word Atatayis in Gita in the first chapter, when he refers to Kauravas, he uses this word. So which means Arjuna is very, very aware of why the war is being fought. He is very aware. But then the moment he saw Bhishma and Drona, who are very, very loving to him, he loves them a lot and reveres them a lot, he forgot, and then he told Krishna, this war is not worth it. I don't want the kingdom. Like I will renounce everything and I'll become a sannyasi. And Krishna steps in and then says, no, this is not the time when you can do that. Because his entire life, Arjuna has been a preparation for a soldier. He's a commando, he's a soldier, he's a military general. Now, suppose like a similar thing, I can tell you, like suppose for example, there is a general, a military general in the Indian Army, and he's asked to command a group of people and against the Pakistani army. And then at that time he says like, no, I cannot fight this because the person, the general on the Pakistani side, he's actually my cousin. And before partition, my father and his father, they were all living in Karachi. And during partition, my father moved here. His father stayed there. So he's my cousin. How can I fight my cousin? Now, if the general says, then that is not acceptable. Because right from your beginning, you have joined the military, and your entire life has been military training. The society has invested so much of energy into training you, and at the time of giving back, when you have to fight for all the investment that the society has put into you and trained you, you cannot say no. You could not have, if that is the case, you should not have joined the military at all right from the beginning. But this is not the time when to step back. So that is exactly what Arjuna did. Having got all the military training throughout his life and being prepared for the war, so much of investment has gone into him from the society, right? And at this time, he cannot say like, no, I will not fight. So it is his duty to fight. So that's what Krishna reminds him. And also Krishna tells him, like, you are not fighting for gaining a kingdom, you are fighting to establish dharma. You are doing your duty. So, and even that is also not convincing for Arjuna. And then Krishna gives so many reasons why Arjuna should do his duty at this time, and what is the meaning of life, what is the purpose of life. So everything, the entire Gita is told to Arjuna, because that is a time when Arjuna is confused, right? Like, so that is what Gita is about. Now, in this verse is where Arjuna asks Krishna to teach him. So this is the verse which made, so far Arjuna was considering Krishna as his friend, and so many things Krishna had been helping Arjuna with, like right from marrying marrying Subhadra, his own sister, getting the kingdom, establishing Indraprastha. So much Krishna has been always with Pandavas, helping them at both their times of prosperity and also when there are times of problem. Both times Krishna was helping them. Arjuna was his close friend, and but then Arjuna never considered Krishna as a teacher. And this is the shloka where Arjuna tells Krishna, please teach me. So and this shloka, this prayer itself is very, very interesting. So he says, Karpanya doshaha upahata swabhava, Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha, Prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha, Yat shreyaha syat nishchitam bruhi tatme, Shishyaha te aham shadimam tvam prapannam. So he says, Swabhavaha, my natural state is of cheerfulness, enthusiasm. But then this karpanya, karpanya means pitiable, right? This pitiable defect, like, has overwhelmed my mind. Upahata means overwhelmed. So my natural state of clarity, enthusiasm, and vigor has been temporarily overcome and overwhelmed by this pitiable confusion, right? So this is how you approach problems, right? Like having the moment you have some problem, the moment you consider that, oh, this is unnatural state, it is just a matter of time and effort that this problem will be solved. Now, the moment even when you approach the problem, you approach the problem that it is a temporary problem, it will be solved sooner or later. I just have to put in the right effort. Then there itself the problem is half solved. Your approach, your to the problem itself, right? So that is how Arjuna approaches the problem. He says this is just a temporary one, like it is just a upahata swabhava. My natural state of mind is temporarily overcome by a confusion, right? So he says, Prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha. So my mind is confused between what is dharma, what is adharma, right? Dharma sammudaha chetaha. My mind is confused. And prichami tvam. I am asking you, right? I am asking you with this mind. So Arjuna has, actually, if you read the first chapter and the beginning of the second chapter, like Arjuna tries to solve the problem by himself. He says, okay, this is the problem. What are the possible solutions? Possibly this, possibly that. And then he finds that none of his solutions are actually solving the problem. He is able to find some gaps in the solutions that he's able to come up with. So he kind of tries to solve the problem with whatever capacity that he has. And then he is not able to arrive at the right solution. He finds that, okay, he's missing something. Then he tells Krishna, Krishna, I'm missing something. Like, tell me what I'm missing, right? So that is what he's asking here. And he's not asking Krishna to solve the problem. He says, see, I have a confusion. You just bring clarity to me, and I'm ready to do whatever is supposed to be done, right? I'm willing to do the heavy lifting. But I just want to know what is the right thing to do. What is to be done now? So that is the clarity he's looking for. So this is how we should approach whenever we ask for solutions, when we ask for help. Now we need to tell, this is the problem, and this is my understanding of the problem. This is what I have tried. These are the ways I have tried to solve the problem, but I'm not able to solve the problem. Now, please tell me what I should do to solve the problem so that I can go ahead and go and solve the problem. So you are not asking them to solve the problem. You are only asking for direction. Then people will be very, very willing to help you. And you also ask for direction by demonstrating that you have already tried to solve the problem by yourself and you have failed. And that is why you're asking for help. You are not just throwing your hands right at the beginning and then saying, oh, help me. No. You have already tried to solve the problem by yourself and you are not able to do it. So now you are asking for clarity. You are asking for directions so that you can go ahead and solve the problem by yourself. Then people will be very, very willing to help you. And there also, let me complete it, then we can get back. Okay. So there also he says, Yat Shreya Syat Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. So this Shreya is a very important word. Shreya means what is right. So whenever we face situations in life, we can classify the situations as, likes and dislikes and right and wrong. Like what is convenient and inconvenient. On that basis, we can classify the options, or you can classify as what is right and what is wrong. What will give long-term benefits, right? Suppose, for example, you have to submit a report and the report has to be submitted by tonight. And then there is a India-Pakistan match, cricket match, finals. Now, if you watch the match, you cannot submit the report on time. But if you say like, no, it is okay, I will watch the recording or I will watch the highlights later. Now this report is important. I will go and work on it. So now these are the options you have. Now, choosing the easy option is called prayas, right? You are just looking at what is convenient now, what will give me happiness, pleasure now. That is called prayas. Whereas choosing the long-term option, I'm okay to go through some inconvenience now, but I am looking for long-term benefits. That is called Shreyas. Okay. So Preyas and Shreyas. Now, if whatever is pleasure convenient now itself provides long-term benefits, then there is no conflict at all. Conflict comes only when something which is inconvenient now, but it will give long-term benefit, right? So in such a conflict, you always choose Shreyas. It is okay to go through some inconvenience now, but I will look for long-term benefits. That is called Shreyas, and that is what is called as the right action, right? So Arjuna is asking here, Yat Shreya Syat Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. I am not looking for a convenient solution. I am not looking for a quick fix, a stopgap solution. I want a long-term, permanent solution. I'm okay to go through inconvenience now. I'm okay to do the heavy lifting. Tell me what is right in the long term, right? So that is the word Shreya here, right? Kathopanishad talks about the Shreyas versus Preyas, right? So whenever there is a conflict, always choose Shreya. So Arjuna says, I am willing to do the heavy lifting. I want a long-term solution. Tell me what is good in the long term, what is right. And Yat Shreya Syat Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. For sure, whatever is the long-term one, tell me. Shishya te aham. I am your disciple. Shadimam tvam prapannam. Shadimam, teach me. Tvam prapannam, I surrender to you. This is what is called as surrender. Surrender is not saying, oh, I will not do anything, you do everything for me. No, that is not surrender. Surrender is, I am confused, give me the direction, and so that I can work on it. So there's a monk, Swami Atulananda, he puts it in a very nice way. He says, like you are sitting in the boat and you are putting the oars, right? You are willing to row the boat. But what is the direction where to go? That you are not that you are confused. So the rudder you give to the Lord. You tell the Lord, oh Lord, you hold the rudder. I will put the oars. Right? You take my boat in whatever direction that it is supposed to go. But whichever direction you want to take the boat, I will put the oars. I will work for it. So this is how, that is what is called as surrender. Right? I will work, you give the direction. Right? This is what Arjuna asks. Right? Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha prichami tvam dharma sammura chetaha yat shreyah syat nishchitam bruhitat me shishyah te aham shadimam tvam prapannam. So, this exactly is the meaning of the Gayatri mantra also. Right? The Gayatri mantra, Tat Savitur Varenyam Tanno Om Bhurbhuhaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam. What is that? Bhurbhuhaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Right? So, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. So, Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat means the same thing. Right? Yes, Shreyah Syat Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. Right? I am confused. Please show me the light. Show me the direction. Give me the right perspective. And when I get the right perspective, I will do rest of the job. That is what Gayatri Mantra says. Right? I am confused. Give me clarity. Then work I will do. I am willing to do the work, but give me clarity. Right? So this is what this prayer of Arjuna is. Beautiful prayer. So why did Krishna choose Arjuna over others to give the Gita? Because Arjuna asked for it, right? So always teaching is given only when you ask, right? Free advice doesn't have any value. So always teaching is given only when you ask. What were the accomplishments of Arjuna before the Mahabharata war? Like he had won over the entire India. He's called Dhananjaya, right? We discussed that last week. And who is an Atatayi? We saw one person who has done even one of the 5 crimes. And here the Kauravas have done all of them. And they were kings on top of that. And what is Arjuna's prayer to Krishna? Arjuna says, give me clarity. Right? Yat Shreyah Syat Bruhitam Nishchitan Me. What is Preyas and Shreyas? We saw, right? Preyas is what is convenient. Shreyas is what is right, though it might be inconvenient. What is the meaning of the Gayatri mantra? So, Diyo Yonah Prachodayat, right? So, you give light to my intellect so that I can see the situation clearly, so that I can take the right decision and I can do whatever is needed to address the situation. So, prayer for clarity, that is Gayatri mantra, right? And that is what is needed, right? So, yeah, so this is the prayer, and it's a beautiful prayer which we can use in our everyday life also. Yeah, Shail, you had a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you actually about the verse. If you could go back to the previous
Yes.
slide. So the upahata swabhava,
Mm-hmm.
is that so? What was this problem small for Arjuna, or was it a big problem for him? Because
See,
he's asking very gently.
yeah. See, problem, actually, if you see, he is completely depressed. He is completely shaken. If you see the description in the first chapter and second chapter, it says like his mouth got dry, his body was shivering, and he could not even stand, and he could not even hold to the bow. The bow is slipping, right? Like, and uh, and then he collapses and sits in the chariot. So basically, like, it's a kind of an emotional trauma. He's in a state of trauma, right? But then still he does not get lost. Like, that is the beauty here, right? Because he's a great warrior. Like, He would have seen so many situations in life. He's a king, right? He was a ruler, right? He is, and just like much more than a CEO of a company, right? Like he is a ruler of a country, and he has faced so many wars, so many things. So though he was so much shaken, but still he says like my natural state is overcome, right? Like still he is aware of his natural state of enthusiasm, cheer, and everything. So he doesn't give up on that. See, that is how we do, no? Like even in our office, like when someone does a mistake, like it might be a big mistake. Even if someone does a very big mistake, the first thing we tell them is like, hey, this is not what you are. What happened, right? So the first thing when you face someone who has made a mistake is to remind him of his real nature, right? You tell him this is not what you are normally. This is not something which you would have done normally. Tell me what happened. Why did you do it? So that is how you break the ice, right? So the moment you start the conversation with the person who has done something wrong, saying, this is not what you are. I did not expect you to do this. This is what you normally do. Then you are actually like giving hope to that person. You are reminding that person that, like, I am not judging you. You are good. But what you did is wrong, right? You are good, but what you did is not acceptable. Then it gives hope for the person to confess, to realize his mistake, to change his mistake, right? And you are not being judged. You are not judgmental about the person, you are judgmental about the behavior, right? That is how you approach when a person has done a mistake. And that is exactly Arjuna is approaching himself also.
So Arjuna is approaching himself here in
Yes,
that way. So
yes.
so he's like, is he enlightened from beforehand or
No, no, this is just simple psychology, right?
okay?
This this is the mature psychology. Like even if you okay, that is how even we deal with our own problems in life. Like in an office, like say for example, like you have a servant or you have a housekeeping boy who has stolen something
Hmm.
from the office. Like how do you talk to him? Like, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You don't immediately judge the person as, oh, you are a thief,
Hmm.
because he has been working in your office for 5 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
He has been truthful, and suddenly he has stolen something. So first thing you tell him is like, hey, you are such an honest person. You have been working here for 5 years. You never stole anything, but now you have taken something. We saw on the CCTV camera. What happened? What made you do it? Right. So you don't brand him as a thief. You tell him, you remind him that he's an honest person first.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then you tell him, but what you did was not correct.
So
Right.
Upahata Swabhava is a
Uh,
defect of misery, right?
huh. So always, this is the mature way to address any problem.
Hmm.
Anytime a person does something wrong, this is the mature approach. You always remind the person of his intrinsic good nature,
Hmm.
and then you tell him that I am not judging you, I am judging only your behavior. Your action was
Hmm.
wrong, but I know you are a good person.
Hmm. Is
So,
that the reason why Lord Krishna chose Arjuna? Maybe because he had all these
no, this is the natural, because even if you
these
take the
tendencies.
way Yudhishthira works with people, how Bhima, because this is what you call, this is the right way of managing things. Because these are all great kings. They're all top class managers, right?
Right.
So that is the way they
It was
behave.
a huge problem for him. It was not as far as I understand.
Yes. So
This was not
even though it
easy.
is a huge problem, he is still so mature that he
Hmm.
is able to step back from himself and then see it objective. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So even we do mistakes. Even when we do mistakes, like first thing we need to say is, okay, oh, I did a stupid thing. Like, why did I do it? Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is not me. Right.
Hmm.
The moment you say, this is not me, then your problem is half solved.
Right.
Right? That is what, when Arjuna says, Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha, the swabhava means like, this is not me, he says. He says, this is not me.
Upahata
This is not what
Swabhava.
I am. Right?
Right. What does
So,
Upahata mean?
upahata means overcome, a temporarily, I like, I have a, like a moment of delusion, right?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
my natural state is being overcome, he says, right? Is overwhelmed, right? So this basically it's a huge psychological lesson for all of us. How to deal with problems, how to deal with our own problems, our own mistakes, and also how to, more than that, how to deal with people who make mistakes, right? You separate the person from the behavior first and say the person is good, but the behavior is not right. And so you can see this throughout the Gita. It will say like dushkritanaha. When it talks about people who do bad things, it will say he's a sadhu, but he's a dushkritanaha. Like he has done his behavior is bad, but intrinsically he's a good person. So always you judge people as good people who have done something, a mistake, because for some reason, right? So the action is always branded as bad, but never the person,
Right.
right? So you
There
can see
tends
in
to be a lot of
multiple places in the Gita, you can see
yes.
multiple places in the Gita, whenever it talks about a bad, quote unquote, bad person, it will never say person is bad. It will always say a person who does bad things. It will always use that word, a person who did bad things, right?
So would Duryodhana also be a person who does bad things?
Yes, yes. He is also considered as a person who did bad things.
Okay.
And even till the end, Krishna was very willing to forgive Duryodhana if he changes his ways. Even Yudhishthira also same thing. Everyone was willing to forgive anyone if you are willing to accept your mistake and change your ways. We are willing to forgive you. Only when they did not want to do that, then only the war happens. So
Hmm.
many opportunities were given for people, for Duryodhana to change.
Hmm. Thank you. This actually gives me a sense of resilience. That
Yes,
feeling of how resilient Arjuna was, and a desire to emulate that.
yes, yes, yes. So whenever you catch yourself doing something wrong, first thing you say is, "This is not me." Right? Then you can say, "Oh, I made this mistake." Then you can say, "Next time I will not repeat it." Right? Good. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So we'll go ahead to the second verse. I will chant. You can repeat. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam Prajnavadamscha bhasase Gatasunagatasunschа Nanushocanti panditaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So the Lord said. So often whenever we run into problems, whenever we are into confusion, we say, "Oh Lord, why is this happening? Oh Lord, I'm confused. Tell me what I should do. Why are you not answering my question? Are you deaf? Are you dumb? Are you there?" We keep asking. And this one word, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, is the answer to all that. Krishna says, RTFM. Read the fabulous manual. The answers are already given. Please go and read. Right? Whatever questions you have to the Lord says, I have already answered it. Please go and read. If you have any questions, go and approach the people who are well versed in it. They will explain to you what I mean to tell you. So the Lord has given the answers to this. And another way you can say, the Lord being the whole universe. We saw Bhagavan, right? Like we saw who is the Lord. He is the entire universe. He is the, you can say manufacturer. And this is the user manual for this entire universe and for your own life. Gita is the user manual. What is the purpose of life? How does it work? What if I do? What will I get? If I want this, what should I do? The whole user manual is Gita. That is what is meant by Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, right? The manufacturer has given a user manual. Now, this shloka, second chapter, 11th shloka, is where the Gita teaching starts. Okay. So, the Gita teaching starts with this. And it says, the na anushochanti panditaha, right? That is the essence of the entire Gita. A wise person does not grieve. So, Gita, the objective of the Gita is to free us from all sorrow, to free us from all grief, right? Na anushochanti. And what is the way? Panditaha. Wisdom is the way. And the last shloka of the Gita, where the teaching ends, is the 66th shloka in the 18th chapter. There also Krishna ends by saying, Ma shuchaha, don't worry, right? The word shocha, shoch means grief, worry. So the beginning also says, Na anushochanti panditaha. The end also says, Ma shuchaha. And in between also multiple places, Krishna always describes saying, a person who follows this will attain peace, right? Shanti. So the entire Gita is about this, about how can you attain peace in this world, in this life, which is full of ups and downs, right? Shitoshna, Sukha Dukkeshu, Labha, Labhav, Jaya, Jayav. So Shita, Ushna, heat and cold and heat, right? Jaya, Ajaya, like victory and failure. Labha, Alabha, right? Gain and loss. And Shitoshna, Sukha and Dukkha, pleasure and pain. And then Stuti, Ninda and Stuti, right? Praise and blame. In all these things will happen in life. They are natural. But in spite of all these things, you can be free from sorrow. You can be still enthusiastic. You can be resilient. You can be full of energy and vigor and address the problems. Whatever is needed to be done, you can do that. How to be that? That is what Gita is about. Now, in our tradition, any book, when at the beginning of the book, there are 4 things that the introduction has to talk about. It is called Anubandha Chatushtaya. Adhikari, Prayojana, Vishaya, Sambandha. So Adhikari is the target audience. Who is this book for? There is a target audience. Adhikari. Prayojana is the expected result. What is the outcome of this book? Vishaya is the message, a summary of the message. And then Sambandha is what is the connection, what is the application process. So basically, how will the Adhikari get the Prayojana by using the Vishaya? So what is the relationship between these 3? That is called Sambandha, right? Suppose if it is a recipe book, the Adhikari is, let us say, like for example, it is a recipe for paneer butter masala. Adhikari is a person who wants to eat paneer butter masala cooked by himself. Prayojana is the paneer butter masala which you can eat. Vishaya is the step-by-step instruction how to make paneer butter masala, right? Sambandha is that you have to actually take a vessel, pour water, procure the ingredients, put them all together, follow the recipe to finally prepare paneer butter masala. Just by reading the book, you will not get it, right? Without the ingredients, you will not be able to do it. So all those things come under Sambandha. So similarly, here for the Gita, this shloka gives the Anubandha Chatushtaya. Target audience, Adhikari. Who is the target audience? It says, Ashocyan Anvashochastvam. Right? You are worrying about what need not be worried about. Prajna Vadamscha Basase. But you are talking words of wisdom. As if you are telling a lot of words. If you see the first chapter and the first 10 shlokas in the second chapter, Arjuna tries to solve the problem by himself. He says, oh, okay, we have, this is the problem, this is a solution. If we do this, this will happen. He tries to solve the problem. So that all that put together is the adhikari, a person who is affected by the dualities of life and has given thought to it. He has gone and read a lot of self-help books and went to Google, ChatGPT, whatever, and then tried to get some solutions, tries to find solutions, seen what is there, tried some things himself to solve the problem, but then he's not able to solve the problem. Like maybe he has got some successes there, but he's not satisfied with that. Now that is the person who is the adhikari here, right? A person who is facing the world, who has found that this world has got dualities and he's not happy with that. He wants to know how to be resilient in spite of these dualities. And he has tried whatever means available to him, and he's not able to solve the problem fully. And now he says, like, what am I missing? Can you tell me? That is the person who is the adhikari. What is the prayojana? Na anushochanti. Complete freedom from all sorrow. So when we say sorrow, all the manifestations of sorrow, different manifestations of sorrow is what? Anger, jealousy. Like no one says, I am angry and I'm very happy. No one says, I am jealous, I'm very happy. No. Anger, jealousy, they're all different manifestations of sorrow only, right? So all forms of sorrow, right? And complete freedom from all sorrow is the goal. Na anushochanti. What is the way? Panditaha. Wisdom is the way. Wisdom means what? What wisdom about what? Knowledge about what? Who am I? What is the purpose of life? Who is God? Is there a God? What is this world? What is the relationship between me and God? What is the relationship between me and the world? What is the relationship between God and the world? So all that is what is wisdom, right? So what is the time? So I'll finish this and will. So that is the wisdom. So that is indicated by Panditaha, right? And what is the Sambandha? So already Arjuna has tried some things and it did not work. So he knows what is it, but he's not able to apply it correctly. He's not able to interpret the life based on the wisdom. So that is what is Sambandha. So these four are called Anubandha Chatushtaya. Like any of our traditional textbooks, any book will always start with Anubandha Chatushtaya. And Gita also starts with this Anubandha Chatushtaya. Yes, Shail.
Sir, prayojana is only freedom from grief, or is it also freedom from fear as well?
Fear is also a manifestation of grief only.
So
See,
how do you define grief over here? Like the word.
so here, grief or sorrow, shoch is the word, right? Like, so uh, has various manifestations. Sorrow has got various manifestations, right? Grief or sorrow. And as I told you, like, anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, right? Greed. Greed is also a manifestation of sorrow only because no one is happy. No one is happy being afraid. No one is happy being anxious. So all these things are various manifestations of sorrow.
Anu, what is the Sanskrit word for that? Is for grief?
Grief, soch.
Anusochinta.
Na anushochanti. So
Anusochinta.
shoch means worry. Shochanti means worries. Third person singular.
So
Shochanti
it's
is
not
third person
exactly
singular.
grief. It's worries.
Worry. Worry is basically grief. Basically the same word, right? It means all this. Like
Okay.
in Hindi, soch is thinking, but in Sanskrit, soch is means worry.
Okay.
So like my teacher used to make funny. They're like, how can they name a shop as soch?
I'm sorry.
My teacher, he used to make fun. Like, how can they name a shop as soch?
Soch.
Soch means worry in
Okay. Okay.
Sanskrit. Like,
So soch
but
is
but
not
but
thought.
actually in
Worry.
Hindi, soch means thought, right?
Right. Right.
Whereas in Sanskrit, shoch means worry.
I see. I see.
Some words are meaning is different between Hindi and Sanskrit. Yeah,
Right. Right.
this is one of those words. So shochanti means third person singular, worries,
So it includes all sorts of fear, anxiety, grief,
uh,
worry,
fear, anxiety,
depression.
and in fact even lust, greed, right? All
Arjuna,
this.
Arjuna was undergoing depression at that time.
It is under depression.
So it includes depression also.
Depression, yes.
So the Gita guarantees that we will get freedom from all of this.
Complete freedom.
Okay.
Complete freedom from all of them. That is what is guaranteed.
Okay. So like if we like we need to complete reading the Gita for that, or even if we just apply parts of it, we will get it.
Yeah, like so as you go, you will get more and more clarity, right? And
Okay.
then you apply it, then it will give you it will free
Okay.
you, right? It's really possible, right? And I'll tell you, like, say, suppose there is let's say there's a man, a 30-year-old man, let us say, and let us say, unfortunately, his mother has died. Now the body is there. He is sitting at the foot of his mother's dead body and he is crying.
Mm.
And when he is crying, his 1-year-old daughter, right, who can barely walk, she kind of walks and then she comes, hugs him, and says, Papa. And then she holds his cheek and say ye. Like, like the child is playing
Mm.
with him. Like the child doesn't know the situation, right?
Right.
Now, how will this father react to the child? Will he smile at his child? He will, right? He will respond to his 1-year-old daughter with a smile, even though he has been crying. His mother's dead body is there, lying next to him. So,
Mm.
which means what? Even at the highest sorrow, you have the capacity to temporarily, at least, put it aside and smile at your 1-year-old daughter.
Mm.
Correct?
Mm.
That capacity we have. Like my
Right.
teacher used to say, like the capacity to say, so what? You know, whatever happens, the biggest tragedy which has happened in your life, you say what? And then you recollect yourself, and then you say, so what? So now my teacher says the time gap between what and so what is the measure of your spiritual maturity. That is what is spiritual development, right? How soon can you recover and say, so what? Yeah, there is a problem. Let me do whatever is needed. Let me do whatever I'm supposed to do. Right? But you are not shaken by it. Right? So that is what Gita gives you. Right?
That's
That
fascinating.
freedom, resilience. Right?
Mhm. But it still seems like a very far off.
We'll see. Like Gita will very systematically address what are the problems, systematically, step by step, step by step.
Yes.
It will tell you. We'll
Yes.
see. Good. Any other questions? Yes, Divya. You can unmute.
Yes. No, I was just talking about, I wanted to tell about this book. Order
Yeah.
That Day itself. It's a wonderful book.
Yes.
So
Campbell.
thank you for the suggestion because lately I've been trying to read books. Nothing came
Mm,
to this book.
yes. That's a beautiful book. And also it gives, even very, very practical instructions, like especially if you are manager, like what should you talk in your team meeting, what should you talk in your one-on-one, how to structure your staff meetings, like a lot of this thing. And like how you break the ice, you talk about first some general topics, where have you been, what is your personal life in your during the week, then you get on to project. So agenda for one-on-ones, like amazing book actually. And that people manifesto is a gem in that book.
Sir, which book is this?
It's called $1 Trillion Coach. Can you just
Okay.
show the book, Divya? You can. Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing. I used to work at Google.
Oh, okay. Good, good,
Okay.
good. Yeah. And even the other books
Thanks.
related to this, like how Google works,
Yeah.
measure what matters,
Yeah.
right? Like, so they're all, that entire series is good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, good. So what have we learned? What is Anubandha Chatushtaya? We saw the four things, right? Adhikari, then Prayojana, Vishaya, Sambandha, right? Who is the target audience and what is the outcome, expected outcome, and then what is the summary message and what is the application, like how to apply it. So all that. Then who is the intended audience for the Gita? A person who has some experience in life, he has faced life, he has thought about it, he has thought about what are the problems in life, and he asks these questions, who am I, why am I here, what is the purpose of life. He has asked all those questions, right? And then he has tried to come up with his own answers by putting whatever effort needed, by reading various books everywhere. And then he's not still satisfied with those answers and he's looking for uh, more light, right? So he is the intended audience for the Gita. What is the expected outcome? Complete freedom from all sorrow, right? And that too here and now. In this world, while living, while busy in all your worldly duties, still you can be completely free from all sorrows. Jivan Mukti, it is called. That is the word. Jivan Mukti means what? Mukti means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from sorrow. And Jivan means here and now, while living, while working, while engaging with the society. That is the expected outcome. What is the central message of the Gita? Na anushochanti panditaha. Right? Wisdom is the way to complete freedom from all sorrow. Wisdom is the way. What is that wisdom? Who am I? What is the purpose of life? Who is God? What is this world? What is my relationship with this world? What is my relationship with God? What is the relationship between God and the world? So all those answers to those questions is called wisdom. Fine. Any questions? I think we are just 5 minutes we have. So I think
I have a question.
Yeah.
So this is a practical question actually.
Mm-hmm.
Supposing you know someone very close to you is on in whatever they may be slightly spiritual, but you know that the person is not on a good path with regards to habits, alcoholism, everything. They come to talk to you. You want to guide them, but that blows up. Every time you try to guide them and you tell them, mat karo, don't do this. So how do you approach this? Because you want to help because they're dear to you, but at the same time, you know that your help will not be taken in the right way. But how do you say that to them that you're a good person? So how do you do that?
Yeah, like see, basically, like the habit is only second nature, right?
Yeah.
So your first nature is to be good. You just have a bad habit, which in due course of time you will anyway get over it. So start with that, right?
Okay.
So first you have to give the vision of the person without that habit. Understand?
Okay.
So first, of course, first thing is that person should be wanting to give up the habit. That is the
But
first.
what if they're not, sir? Like what if
no.
they're not, but it's
you
like
cannot
a
help
challenge.
them.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
You cannot help them. Unless that person wants it, you cannot help them.
So what do we say to them? With regards to
just pray for them. Wish well for them, pray for them. See,
even if they're dear to you, that's the thing.
Yeah. You cannot, right?
Yeah.
So unless someone wants to change for himself, and he comes and asks you for help, you cannot help the person. Both are needed.
Yeah.
He might be wanting to change, but if he doesn't come and ask you, still he will not listen to you, whatever you say.
Okay.
Right? You can only try to keep it within the limit so that he doesn't kill himself too much. He doesn't hurt himself too much. Like you try some basics so that but unless he wants to change, you can never help the person.
Yeah. Right.
So I think Lord Krishna didn't help Arjuna until he asked for it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Actually.
Yeah.
Even though he was, now I'm learning that he was extremely, maybe he was proud or arrogant, wise in his own skin. Maybe that's the reason why Krishna hadn't helped him so far.
Sir, 2 minutes. I'm still in the call. I will call you back.
So
yeah,
was that the reason?
That is why that prayer is very important. Like where Arjuna asks for help. Right? So only when someone asks for help, you can help them. Otherwise, even if you want, you will not be able to help them. And free advice has no value.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Preet, you have a question?
Yeah. My question was around kind of realizing the truths or using them as prescriptions, and what the impact of each of those are.
So Gita never gives a list of do's and don'ts. Okay. No commandments. We are not a preaching religion. No. We are a teaching religion. Hinduism is not a preaching religion. Hinduism is a teaching religion. We don't give commandments. We only give you logic. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. And we give you the reason also, how it is connected. Pure logic. Now, you need to decide what you want and you need to decide what you need to do. That is all up to you. So Gita will never tell do this, do that. No, it will say if you do this, you will get this. And it will also tell you the reason why. And then it will say now you do whatever you want. That is the approach. So that is why it's a very logical build-up of logic, build-up of concepts. We are only building up concepts. We'll give you concepts logically, and then finally, like what you want in life and what you want to do is finally up to you. That is the approach. Okay, so I think we have already crossed 10. So there is one exercise which I thought we will do, but I think we will take that up in the next class. So any questions before we close? Good. So we'll chant Om Shanti and we'll end the class. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Namaste. Thank you, all of you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.